everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Mariana, and today I'm actually doing something a little bit different. I'm not doing a review per se, I just wanted to share my thoughts on It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, so let's begin, shall we? If you've been on the internet, you have seen this book. There's no way you haven't, okay? I saw it on TikTok, I saw it on Instagram, I saw it on YouTube, I saw it on Twitter, everywhere. Every single social media platform that I opened, someone was talking about it. And every single time I saw someone talking about this book, something along the lines of it broke me, or I'm devastated, or I cried, followed it. So it did actually interest me a lot, and I thought, you know what, I have to read this book. And I'm actually very glad that I did. And here's why. I'm not going to sit here and give you a review or a summary of the book because I feel like there's nothing new that I can add to it. You know, the book has been out there for a very long time, and a lot of people have given, their reviews about it, and I'm actually very grateful for it because it's one of the reasons that I actually ended up reading it. But I feel like what I want to bring to you today is actually my thoughts on the book, how I felt while reading this book, and why I think that books like this are very important. You know, I'm a sucker for romance, just like everybody else, yet I have a very hard time reading romance books. And one of the main reasons why is because oftentimes the love interest, whether it's a woman or a man, is portrayed as this troubled person. Not all the times, and not in every book, but most of the times it's this troubled person, and yeah, we have all been through some stuff, that makes us empathize with some of the characters, but it doesn't actually justify some of the very, in my opinion, damaging and toxic behaviors that these characters actually exhibit. And I felt like, in the case of this book, talking about a toxic or an abusive person was actually done right. Oftentimes, and I'm speaking from personal experience when I say this, when we are in a toxic relationship, oftentimes we justify the other person's actions. We say, this person has been through a lot, or they are having a bad day, or I did something that made them crack or made them, blow a fuse. And although I have never been in a physically abusive relationship, I have been in an emotionally abusive one. And while I was reading this book, I felt like my experience was validated, because it's very difficult to get out of a toxic relationship, because with the very low lows come very high highs, and you are intoxicated by this person. You love them, or you feel like you do, and it's very hard to say, this is enough. I deserve someone who treats me right, someone who doesn't belittle me, someone who doesn't make me feel scared to talk or to say stuff all the time. And the journey that this character went through in relation to her and her partner was actually very realistic and very eye-opening. It was most definitely not an easy read, because at times I felt like I was the main character. I knew what she was feeling. I knew what she was thinking. And by the time the book ended, and she chose herself, I felt validated. I felt like, yes, what I went through was not easy. And what millions and millions of men and women have gone through is not easy. But it doesn't make you less. And it doesn't make you incomplete or broken. It just makes you human. And yeah, I cried, and I cried a lot, and I laughed, and I felt happy at the end because although it's not an easy book to read, it's not a dark one, it's not a sad one. You are shown the good and the bad in the relationships, but you are also shown the good and the bad in life overall, because even though it was a very toxic environment, good came out of it. And I feel like these kinds of books are very important because oftentimes with these kinds of relationships, a feeling of guilt and of failure can overcome a person. You know, I'm speaking from experience when I say that. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel, you know. And also, I feel like portraying the partner in a very realistic light was important. You know, he is not all bad and he is not all good. Nobody is. And showing, you know, how he is not just this villain. He is a person that has gone through a lot of trauma and sadly ended up displaying these kinds of behaviors is important. You know, it's kind of hard to put into thoughts how I felt because it was truly a roller coaster of feelings. But if I could just very briefly say what I feel right now, almost 2 months or 1 month after reading this book, is grateful. I know it's not a perfect book. I know you still have your knight in shining armor and everything, but it's a very realistic depiction of relationships and humans. And I feel like there should be more books just like this. I am very grateful for the author because I know that this book was actually a personal one. If you go all the way through the end to the acknowledgements, the author actually explains that this is a fictionalized version of her mom's story, and that must not have been easy. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And I'm grateful because it gave a lot of people, not just her, not just me, not just the friend that I recommended this book to, a lot of men and women, validation and a story where they could feel heard and represented. That's something that I really appreciate and I'm grateful for. So yeah, I know this video was a little bit somber. I'm sorry it went that way. But I have been thinking about this for quite a long time now, and as I said, I felt like just reviewing this book would not bring anything new to the table, nor make this book justice. I know it's not the perfect book, but to me, it was a very important one. So thank you for staying all the way here till the end. I know it's not my usual style, but I felt like that was necessary. So yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Please leave a comment below if you have read this book. How did you feel about it? What did you think about it? Are you going to read the sequel? Let me know. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.